You know that feeling when you're waking up 3 times a night to use the bathroom? Or when you're standing there and the flow is just weak and you're wondering what's going on with your body? If you're a guy over 45, chances are you've experienced at least one of these frustrating symptoms. And here's what most men don't realize. Some of the fruits sitting in your kitchen right now, the ones you think are keeping you healthy, might actually be making your prostate problems worse. I know that sounds crazy. We've been told our entire lives to eat more fruit, right? And yes, fruit is generally healthy, but when it comes to prostate health specifically, not all fruits are created equal. Some of them can actually trigger inflammation, spike your blood sugar in ways that affect your prostate, and make those annoying urinary symptoms even more intense. So stick with me here because I'm going to walk you through which fruits you need to watch out for and why. And trust me, one of these is going to surprise you. It's literally marketed as a superfood, but it can cause serious problems if you're on certain medications. First, let's talk about why this even matters. Your prostate is this small gland about the size of a walnut that sits right below your bladder. And as you age, it's incredibly sensitive to two things: hormones and inflammation. Now here's where fruit comes into play. Most fruits contain natural sugars, mainly fructose and glucose. When you're younger, your body handles these sugars pretty efficiently. But after 45, things change. Excess sugar starts spiking your insulin levels, which can increase fat storage around your abdomen. And that abdominal fat, it's not just sitting there doing nothing. It's actively producing inflammation in your body. And that inflammation goes straight to your prostate, making it swell up and put pressure on your bladder. That's when you start dealing with weak flow, constant urges, and those midnight bathroom trips. So while fruits do have vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants, choosing the wrong ones can actually work against you. And I want to help you avoid that. Let's start with one that almost everyone has in their kitchen: overripe bananas. You know those bananas with the brown spots all over them? A lot of people think that's when they're sweetest and best. And yeah, they are sweeter, but that's the problem. When bananas ripen, their starch converts into pure sugar. A firm yellow banana has a glycemic index around 51, which is pretty moderate. But once it gets covered in those brown spots, that number can jump to 70 or higher. That means it's hitting your bloodstream fast and causing a sharp insulin spike. And here's the connection you need to understand. Research shows that men with insulin resistance have a much higher risk of developing prostate enlargement. So if you love bananas, here's what I recommend. Eat them when they're still mostly yellow and firm, and always pair them with something that has protein or fat, like peanut butter or a handful of almonds. That slows down the sugar absorption and keeps your insulin more stable. Now let's talk about grapes. They seem harmless, right? Just pop a few in your mouth, easy snack. But here's the thing, just one handful, maybe 15 to 20 grapes, packs about 15 grams of sugar. That's the equivalent of 3 teaspoons of straight sugar. And most of that sugar is fructose, which your liver has to process. When your liver gets overloaded with fructose, it starts converting it into fat, especially around your midsection. And like I mentioned before, that belly fat fuels inflammation that directly impacts your prostate. If you're craving something sweet and bite-sized, go for berries instead. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they all have way less sugar and a ton more fiber, which is exactly what you want. Next up, mangoes. Look, I get it. Mangoes are delicious. They're tropical, they're sweet, they feel like a treat. But one medium mango can have over 45 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than a can of soda. And for a guy dealing with prostate issues, that kind of sugar load can trigger serious inflammation and make your symptoms flare up. If you absolutely can't give up mangoes, limit yourself to just a few slices, not the whole thing. And again, pair it with some nuts or seeds to help balance out that sugar hit. Then there's pineapple. Pineapple is not only high in sugar, but it's also really acidic. That acidity can irritate both your bladder and your prostate, which is the last thing you need if you're already dealing with frequent urination. On top of that, pineapple has a high glycemic load, meaning it spikes your blood sugar quickly. If you're waking up multiple times at night to pee, eating pineapple during the day can actually make that worse. A better option? Try papaya or a small amount of melon. They're gentler on your system. Now here's one that catches a lot of guys off guard: Dried fruits, dates, figs, dried apricots, raisins. They all seem healthy because they're natural, right? But when fruit gets dried, all the water's removed and the sugar becomes super concentrated. 1 cup of dates has almost 100 grams of sugar. Even a small handful of dried figs can overload your system. That concentrated sugar doesn't just spike your blood sugar, it fuels weight gain and inflammation, both of which make prostate swelling worse. So here's the rule. Stick to fresh or frozen fruit. Skip the dried stuff entirely, especially if it's coated in syrup or sugar. What about watermelon? Watermelon is mostly water, so it's healthy, right? Well, yes and no. A small slice is fine, but eating giant bowls of it, especially at night, can be a problem. First, it does contain fructose, and too much of it can still affect your blood sugar. Second, because of all that water content, it puts extra pressure on your bladder. If you're already getting up at night, loading up on watermelon before bed is only going to make things worse. Keep your portions small and eat it earlier in the day. And now the one that shocked me the most when I started researching this. Grapefruit. Grapefruit is constantly praised as a superfood. It's loaded with vitamin C, it's low in calories, and people love it for weight loss. But here's the problem. Grapefruit can be downright dangerous if you're on certain medications. It blocks enzymes in your liver that break down drugs, which means those medications can build up to toxic levels in your bloodstream. We're talking about cholesterol meds, blood pressure medications, and yes, even some prostate prescriptions. This isn't just a minor interaction. It can be life-threatening. So if you're on any medication at all, talk to your doctor before you eat grapefruit or drink grapefruit juice. Now, I don't want you to think you have to give up fruit completely. That's not the message here. You just need to be smarter about which ones you choose. The best fruits for prostate health are the ones that are low in sugar and high in fiber. Berries are at the top of the list. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, they all have antioxidants that actually protect your prostate. Apples with the skin on are great too, same with pears and kiwi. These fruits help control your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and give your body the nutrients it needs without causing problems. So here's the bottom line. If you're over 45 and dealing with any kind of prostate issue, whether it's frequent urination, weak flow, or just that constant feeling of pressure, take a hard look at the fruit you're eating. Cutting back on high sugar, high acid fruits like overripe bananas, grapes, mangoes, pineapple, and dried fruits can make a real difference. You'll reduce inflammation, stabilize your blood sugar, and give your prostate a chance to calm down. And by switching to lower sugar options like berries and apples, you still get to enjoy something sweet without sabotaging your health. If this video gave you a new perspective on something you eat every day, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I break down health science like this every week, real research, no hype, just practical stuff you can actually use. And drop a comment and let me know which fruit on this list surprised you the most. I read every single one. Thanks for watching and take care of yourself.